Very interesting. He would roll with Deebo moving forward for the 49ers for this specific team instead of Brandon Aiyuk.
It is interesting. I think Ayuk's really good, and I think the Niners want him when it's all said and done, but because of the Purdy money that's going to stare them down the barrel. And it's not just Purdy, because I know like Purdy's getting so much. It's other guys too. I mean, they have a lot of other things that are locking themselves. They got Domino Lenore has to get paid or figure that out. Aaron Banks has to get extended. What do you do with Trent Williams after a year or two here? What do you end up doing with Hufanga? What do you end up doing with Dre Greenlaw? What's that? Tarvarius Ward, who I haven't referenced. I mean, there are 7 or 8 guys that you're going to have to do something with. Like, a great example, George Kittle. See, to me, everyone's like, George Kittle could be a cap casualty or could be a guy you extend.
Right.
You know, and find a way to give him some upfront money or balance out some of the money. Like, I don't know, man. I think there's a lot of ways this could go with the 49ers. It does feel like the final hoorah.
You know, the receiver doc, I get on you a little bit. It's like, man, now you're realizing the value of Deebo Samuel because of the receiver doc. Yeah. But also watching the receiver doc, I'm like, damn, did I underestimate the value that George Kittle brings to this football team as a leader? Yeah. Because he comes in and blocks. There's games where he'll have 2 catches, 4 yards, and then there's games he'll have 9 catches for 150 yards and a touchdown. Or he'll score 3 touchdowns against the Dallas Cowboys, then he won't score a touchdown for a month. When we were talking about all-time Niners, whether Deebo is, Kittle is an all-time Niner, and I think that is a guy that, you know what, you want him in the locker room. He seems genuine. He seems authentic, and guys do gravitate towards him.
You know, we obsess about the right now, right? That's just what we do in life, right? Like, what's the hot thing? What's, what are the young people listening to? How do we capture more of the young people? Blah, 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 blah. I think the world has always been shaped around, like, the elderly in the community, where you listen to their stories, and I don't think we do a good enough job anymore of taking perspective. And I see a lot of this LeBron, Michael Jordan. You and I watched both. Mike was just Mike. It was different. And LeBron's great, but I don't think you have to put down Mike to elevate LeBron or vice versa. So when the older people tell me something about a current player, I listen. When my dad said that Mookie Betts reminded him of Willie Mays in the way he played the game, where he's just all-around superstar, like, I listen. And then the more I watch, I'm like, man, he's right. Deebo Samuel was a guy that my dad always said, like, he's one of my favorite players of all time. He's a guy who watched the Niners for 65 years, right? My grandfather's been watching this team since the beginning, 1946. Deebo Samuel's one of his favorite players of all time. Does he get hurt? Yeah. Does he frustrate you at times? Yeah. Does he drop balls? Yeah, he's going to drop a ball here and there. Is he the best route runner of all time? He's not the greatest route runner. T.O. used to drop balls.
Right, he did.
You know, like, not everyone's going to be perfectly refined. Yeah. And I look at, like, the older people, they love Deebo, the football player.
They do.
And when we talk about these gladiators that could play in any era, Deebo's one of those guys. And I think he transcends eras, and he's a unique chess piece. I'm just not ready to move him yet. No, I'm not ready to, like, bid adieu.
It bothered me last year. Remember, everybody's like, well, you can't have both. You should move off one of them. How come you got Christian McCaffrey?
Yes.
It's redundant with Deebo. I'm like, well, I want more playmakers. We've been searching for all these playmakers. Why get rid of a playmaker just because we got one? Let's add on to him.
He's a pit bull.
So, to your point about Deebo and the OGs and how they love him.
Just listen to how the old people talk about him.
I'm going to bring it back to this point. SoFi Stadium, NFC Championship game. What were we chanting walking into the stadium?
Deebo. Whoa.
We talk about when the stadium pops. Who makes it pop?
Yes.
Well, when Richard Sherman in 2019, the stadium popped. Bosa.
John Mara talked about this on the front office. He's like, man, Saquon's like the most popular player on my team right now.
So when it comes to that, if you move a guy like Deebo, and you know what? It's kind of like Draymond Green. We could love him and hate him all we want to. But when Draymond's barking, he's making defensive plays.
It is fun.
Chase Center does pop, and they go crazy. And they're like, that's our guy. Hell, he got suspended, and outside the gatehouse, we're doing a post-game show, and they're chanting, free Draymond.
I know.
Free Draymond, right? So Deebo Samuel, to that point, there's not too many players who will have a fan base walking into a stadium chanting, Deebo, whoa. And we were doing that all game long. So to that point, we do underestimate Deebo's value to this football team, and we do that with George Kittle. I see you here on the Xfinity Mobile text line. 2 words about Kittle from the 415. New Orleans.
It's one of the great plays in Niner history of the regular
season.
Dragging
3 guys.
It was incredible.
You know,
after getting face masked.
You know what I'm saying? On the 4th and 2, which won that game 48-46. So You got to have all these playmakers. So hopefully Brandon Aiyuk is a part of this. Now, moving forward, we shall see.
Well, the part that we don't know, too, I mean, God, if Purdy comes in and he's like, and I know this is going to sound absurd to the normal humans out there, the normal working class folk, if he takes $45 million instead of $65 million, he's a hero. He's a conquering hero.
Yeah, no, the fan base, he'll...
Right?
Yeah, there's no doubt.
Right?
There's no doubt.
And I'm praying he does, because every dollar you can save, it can go toward the rest of the team. I mean, that's why I think, to your point on the New York Giants Hard Knocks, what makes it so great is it does explain that you can't afford everyone. Yep. And it's about how you want to allocate your draft picks and your funds and all of the different things. Everybody starts with the same amount. You all have the same salary cap, and you all have the same amount of picks. It's how you choose to use them.
Yep. No doubt about that. No, it's just it's fascinating to look at the Niners team and Purdy and the crowd popping and who's got the it factor and whatnot. Hell, when he was balling out, it was different. When Purdy came onto the scene and had that start against Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and that crowd was chanting Purdy, I was like, oh my God, we may have something here. And I'll never forget the lady in Big Mouth Burgers sipping her little lemonade. Yeah, looks like we got a little quarterback. I'm like, what? And my mom was like, son, that quarterback is good. I'm like, she's never talked about Jimmy or Trey like this. What the hell am I missing? Well, you know what? I do like Brock Purdy. I actually love Brock Purdy. Yeah, I actually love Brock Purdy.